Okay, I'm going to do activity 2.2. I'm going to do the first one perspective drawing. This is off the cheat sheet. I've copied and pasted from the Word document into my notebook here so that I can demonstrate that for you in real time. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start by choosing a light line weight, and I'm going to go ahead and put in some construction lines. Recall, construction lines are lines used to guide. They're not used to represent the object, but rather they're going to guide my object lines so that when I put in a heavier weight line to represent my object, they'll be referenced properly. I feel like I should have a corner down here, so I'm going to go ahead and just drop a line straight down from there. I'll put a line horizontally across, and that's going to define that back corner that's invisible. I then can, I'm going to undo that little line that popped up and try to select that line, and I can shorten that up there. So you can see that I have a box at this point, and I'm going to go ahead and draw from my critical points to the vanishing point up here. And you can start to see the perspective emerge. I suppose I could put one there also. So you can see I have an overall box here that this object will fit into, and you can see that overall box has a 1-point perspective. That is to say, all of the diagonal lines are going to this point up here, which is called the vanishing point. I'm going to go ahead and make a couple of splits. If I look at my isometric drawing here, I can see that this object here has essentially 4 blocks wide, and this takes up 3/4 of it. So I'd like to go ahead and divide this into fourths. So I'm going to do my best there. And then it is 3 blocks tall, and that takes up 2/3. So I'm going to want to break that into thirds also. And that's going to be very helpful as I get to going. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my object line representing this front face right here. I've changed my line weight. I'm going to come up 2/3. I'm going to go over 3/4. And I'll come down to that, and I'm going to put that face right there. Okay, sorry for the interruption. I now have that face drawn on there, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a sense of depth. In order to do that, I want to make sure that any line that I go diagonally with goes to that vanishing point, so I can see how that travels to the back of that box and where it intersects. So I can go ahead and put in a construction line there. And that's going to go from there to there. I don't want to start across yet because I still don't know how far it is. I don't really want to put a line in here yet because I don't know how far that is. So I'm going to have to add some more construction lines. The line that I'm going to use here, I'm going to split this in half. That is the halfway back. Now in isometric, the first half is equal to the second half, and that's what isometric means. It means same measurement. If it's perspective, halfway is actually further back from halfway. That is to say, this front half looks larger than the back half, and the reason is the closer something is to you, the larger it looks. And this is where it becomes kind of artistic in nature. It's not as mathematical. It's not as good at transferring information, but it does help me define these planes. It's certainly going to look like this in real life, but again, we prefer things in isometric, which is this top right drawing. But what I just did there is going to allow me to place this face right here. It goes all the way to the top. It's going to come down to there, to there, to there, and that's wonderful. This comes across halfway, So how far is halfway? Well, I want to use some construction lines, and then remember this is the front half of that front face that comes up, splits that box in half, and then that line goes to the vanishing point. And what that just allowed me to do was it gave me an index of where that comes across to. That's halfway. And then I can come through, whoops, I'm going to come to about there, but before I do that, what am I going to have to do? I'm going to add a construction line that goes halfway across there, because that'll serve as the endpoint of this line that I'm going to make now. So I come from here to here, and then I'm going to go back to there, and that drops that, and then that's going to drop down from there. How far back? Well, that's going to be determined. Again, I'm going to use some more construction lines, and I'm reasoning my way through. I'm going to extend this 2/3 tall line all the way up and send that to the vanishing point off that corner, because that's going to be a big help of when I add this line here. So I'm going to come and I'm going to add that line there. That's going to stop on this halfway line. So I can come off this corner, I'm heading back, and I go halfway back, which is defined by that construction line that I just added. And then that's going to come this way until it meets this line right here. I can go ahead and fill this in off the back of the box, because that's going to go like so. And now I can draw this line straight down to that construction line. That will go across like that, and this will come down here like this, and all of a sudden it is magically filled in. I have, gosh, between 10 and 20 construction lines, just trying to follow reasonable rules coming from the isographic, coming from the isometric, where everything is very measured and very mathematical to the 1-point perspective, which becomes artistic. I really have to kind of split things in half and reason my way through it.